Alright, welcome back to race number 6. We're here at Goodwood, I believe, Goodwood Raceway, and we have our GTC cars. Race 6 about halfway through the season here. You see a little bit of swapping between cars, some new liveries. Should have a pretty good pack today. Gonna make sure we expand our leaderboard to get the right amount of people. We'll keep it at 14, have a little bit of a buffer zone. So why don't we follow along some of these cars and get a sense for the track layout. If we can get to one who's actually driving. There we go. We have Rodan with the fastest lap, right behind Tom Spangler. Rodan in the Alfa Romeo. Yes, there's indeed the Alfa Romeo. Very good. Should be a very exciting race here. We have had some minor switch-ups, and I do apologize. I don't think I uploaded the race results of last week in my YouTube community posts, but I'm sure that you saw it in the actual race. I do apologize for stream quality. Still trying to figure out how to get good stream quality while still, keeping up good FPS levels. Now I don't have merch on tonight, but in the community post, I'll hopefully post just a few minutes or maybe to an hour after the race, where I'll post the race results. I will include a link to the merch if anybody wants to buy it, and I will also include a link to my Discord if you ever wanted to join. I am liking this track. Visually, it looks very good, at least shader-wise. Works well with this map. I believe this is a Gran Turismo import. I've raced this a few times on, I don't remember, GT Sport maybe. Definitely a difficult but rewarding track if you can do it right. Oh, that's Penguin. I thought that was Dean. Looks like Penguin is now in the black Ferrari GTO, the 55. So where's Dean? Dean is in the number 4 car. Let's see if we can actually get to him. So this is Dean. The number 4, what is this, a Bizzarini? Yeah, the number 4 Bizzarini. Still black. Still the number 4. I think they do keep their numbers, which is a nice thing. I'm not sure I like how they swap cars, but we're in such a we're in a racing group where skill varies pretty widely, so it's understandable. Now this one, if you saw last week's program, this van here was absolutely beating the pants off all these other cars. It was so fast. We'll see if actually, I mean, technically, I can just get in and drive it since we're in practice. So I'll go ahead and take a lap or two around in the van. Of course, I'm driving on keyboard because I don't have my wheels set up now. Oh yeah. Alright, let's see if I can get this braking point right. Okay. That was not as turned as I expected it to be. As you can see, this is definitely the fastest car on the track by the 70 miles per hour sticker on the back. Whoa. Tried to save there behind me. Who's that? Penguin? Yeah, it was Penguin. Going right behind me, trying to save it, but wasn't not able to. And as I'm commentating and driving, I go off the track myself. Not the best turning radius. Alright. Going along our track here. Almost done with our first lap. Definitely going to have the fastest lap of practice. I have not done an analysis video on that last two corners with Rodan and Sauce, I believe. Have not done an analysis video on that, but I hope to do that shortly. It's part of the busy season, if that makes sense. Alright, moving on to qualifying. So we are not going to be on the track any longer to allow racers to have the fastest laps they can. Penguin off. Mike Kirby off. Gunner off. Air Cooled has a red tag. That probably means a bad ping. If you can see the top right corner. Oh, Dean too. You can see the top right corner. I have a ping of 99, so it's not too great today. Looks like we're going to have an eventful day full of some questionable accuracies. Air Cooled starting. Whoa, Sauce, what is going on there? I want to see what's going on with Sauce with all that smoke. Unless that was just, you know, a glitch. No, he's really just smoking them tires. Wow. I used to be one car actually, so I didn't look that cool though, that's for sure. So I'll let you guys watch Sauce qualify a bit. I'm not gonna do too much commentating during this part, and we'll be back in a few moments getting ready for the race. And just like that, qualification is over, and we are into overtime. Moving on to race number 1. Right now, as expected, between Rodan and Sauce is first and second. There isn't really a good way to tell who's going to be first or second, but it came out on Rodan on top, Sauce second, Racebrick third, Dean in fourth, Mike Kirby in fifth, Game Boy in sixth, Air in seventh, Penguin in eighth, Spangler in ninth, and Gunner in 10th, Moto in 11th, and me in 12th. So we'll make sure to fix our leaderboard here. Have just 11, or I guess we can have 12 drivers. And as qualification ends, you'll get right into racing. Some friendliness going on here, as you can see in the chat. Sauce has shared setup for GTC 60 Ferrari 250 GTO Series 1164. So now everybody with that car can hit save and they can have that same setup. Most people know Sauce is a very quick driver and pretty good at tuning these cars, so he knows what he's doing. So every once in a while, some of these faster drivers will help out anyone who's struggling with tuning or who's slower if they want to try out a different tune. Usually giving it, there he goes again, usually giving a tune right before a race isn't the greatest idea, but hey, to each their own. If you haven't practiced, it's the same thing. A very tightly packed lineup here. Some going 3 wide. I did not remember this racetrack doing that. That's going to be crazy. Starting with first, second, third, so close like that. This is going to be crazy, man.
Is this yours?
Okay, and we are starting. And the camera is glitching as well, and there's crashing already because someone hit Penguin in the back. Couldn't really see it. But going 3 wide into such a tight corner and a thin track, there's just cars bouncing out into the walls, bouncing back in. Air-cooled spinning off because Dean spinned off. Gunner just magically spinning out for some reason. That's more okay. Game Boy spun out. Mike Kirby spun out. Looks like the 2 in first and second are doing well. Third's doing well. We have Penguin in fourth, doing pretty well for himself. Good to see. Moto in fifth. Very nice. Definitely a high ping race. Definitely some crashing because of high ping. But that was a very impressive first start. And I can't promise an analysis clip of that. I'm impressed to see Moto up so far. Oh, and Penguin just kind of spun out. Okay. Dean in fifth place. Moto doing very well in fourth place. I'm actually very proud of this because he usually doesn't do very well getting through these packs. But could this be a good race for him? I hope so. Alright, going into the final chicane here with Dean and Moto. Sauce in the lead, Brick in second, Rodan in third. That's surprising. Something must have happened to Rodan. Dean in fourth, Moto fifth. This is such a tricky track, especially with this set of course of physics, because you hit that grass and there is a likely chance with these cars on this track that you're spinning out. And then you got dirt on your tires you have to be gentle with, so slows down your lap times while you get the dirt off your tires. But you can't be too rough. And there, Dean goes off into the dirt again.
Is that?
A little bit of wiggle there, but Moto got out of it quickly. Good for him. Still in fifth place, doing very well. He's about 3 seconds ahead of Game Boy. Usually Game Boy has a better start than this. It explains why he's so far back. Saw setting his own record again with fastest lap, and then Rodan following close behind him with the next fastest lap, beating Sauce's record. Also, he passed Race Break, leaving him in seconds. Game Boy getting right up close to Moto. Seems like he got out of that corner better in his Ferrari and passed him easily. That leaves Moto in 6th place. Looks like air-cooled getting really close. Is he going to be able to pass? He's going to try diving to the inside. And zooms right past him in his Blizzerini. Alright, let's see what else we got going on in this field. We have Sauce up here with Rodan fairly close behind. Oh, looks like Moto passed Air. Air must have spun out. Alright, go. Ooh, pretty quick into that chicane there. But he got out of it and didn't spin out. So good. Whoa. Oh, Penguin went into pit. So he is, according to the leaderboard here, in 4th place, even though he's definitely not. Whoa, a little bit of sliding there from Sauce. And everyone's passing Penguin now as he, as the leaderboard figures out what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and update my Discord and make sure they know that we are streaming, and we got 10 minutes to go on the race. Sauce setting his own fastest lap once again. Looks like there's some passing back and forth between Rodan and Racebrick, so I'm going to go back over there, see what's going on. There, we have Rodan here in his Alfa Romeo. Racebrick, nowhere in sight. Looks like he must have spun out or something, that's why he was fast. Going through this chicane, diving in pretty good. Was that better than Sauce's? No, he slid out more on the ends. He probably should break this a tad bit more. Other than that, doing pretty well for himself. Racebrick in third, way behind Rodan. Dean catching up. Oh no, this is Penguin. This is Penguin, not Dean. My bad. Let's see if we can get to Dean. Alright, here is Dean catching up to Racebrick. Just a second and some away. Now just a second away. Or 2 seconds away. Constantly changing times. Now he's roughly about a second away and gaining time on Racebrick. Will Dean be able to get into third place, and will he be able to keep it? I certainly hope he'll be able to keep it. It's been a while since I've seen Dean get a podium. Sure hope he can get a podium this season. And he is gaining a little bit over a second. He probably, yeah, he broke late into this turn. He broke late into the second turn, or didn't break at all. Sliding a little bit. The chicane's really going to tell. He broke very late into the chicane, had a bad line, didn't get as tight in on the first part of the chicane as he should have, leaving him to just stomp on the brake pedal to skid out to the right to just avoid hitting the wall. Meaning he's now roughly 2 seconds behind Racebrick, and he lost a second. So he's trying to make up for that for fast times. These cars slide quite a bit, so he's going through these corners awful fast, and you can see him sliding through a lot of them. Now over 2 seconds behind Racebrick, losing time. Will he be able to make up the time through late braking? Will he have a better line? What is he going to do to catch him up to Racebrick? It looks like Rodan up there had a little issue as he's being caught up, or Racebrick's catching up to Rodan. Oh, what's that? That's Gunner. It looks like Gunner's getting lapped. Rodan is still a good 10 seconds ahead of these guys with 5 minutes to go. Braking a little bit earlier than the last time. Is he going to learn his lesson? Has a much tighter line into that second to last corner. Going to chicane, learned his lesson. Not as tight as he could have, but much tighter. Definitely speeding up that process. But he's still over 3 seconds behind Racebrick. Sliding, sliding, sliding. Losing time constantly. Dean is really pushing the limits of this car. You can constantly see it sliding through these corners. And all that, just these late braking, super late, just stomping on the brake pedals to just try to get as much out of this car as you can. Now there is it's difficult to stomp on the brake and brake late, because you can brake late and gain time, but if you brake a little bit later, you lose all your momentum and you slow down and you actually lose time. So you need to find a perfect balance in between stomping on the brakes late and just coasting into the turn. Usually it's stop as late as possible, where you can keep going at a steady pace through the corners and then throttle out of the corners. But with these cars, it's difficult. You can't always tell. Not going as far out as he should have, left him sliding out of the chicane, slowing him down further, meaning he's roughly 5 seconds behind Racebreak now. Rodan's doing well, keeping off Racebreak by an entire 10 seconds. Looks like we're going to be lapping Tom Spangler here in a moment. Lots of sliding there. JIJ over Fortune Fishing. Sorry, was not watching the chat. Nice to see you here. Dean is really losing time here. He's roughly 6 seconds behind Racebreak now. Not too good. 2 minutes left on the clock. Going to the final turns of one of these last laps. Later down in the line, roughly the entire lap behind everyone else, Gunner past Spangler. I'm not gonna go look for that though. Moto spun out, letting Kirby pass him. Sauce passing, lapping him. The distance between Sauce and Rodan is incredible. Let's get a inside the car cam. We can get onto the helmet cam here. Sauce finding sliding. He hit grass. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? He didn't stop on the grass, but he definitely stopped. Wasn't able to pull out of that drift. Very warm tires now. You can see him smoking. That's what I meant when I said touching grass can be terrible for your car, and especially in this set of Corsa and on this track with such thin roads. So it's going to be a struggle for Sauce to continue on his how fast he was going in his fast laps, while also having such warm tires. Apologize, a little bit of a brain issue there. Anyway, we are on the final lap here with Sauce, 8.5 seconds ahead of Rodan. Doesn't look like Dean's going to be able to catch up to Racebreak at all, but he sure is going to try. A whole 8 seconds behind Racebreak. He is definitely losing time. He's not going to get podium, but 4th is better. It is good. We now go to trackside view. Mike Kirby 7th. Didn't get lapped. Very good. And Sauce takes first place of race 1 tonight. And not so closely behind, we have Rodan in his Alfa Romeo. Not a close finish. Coming out to the chicane now, we have Race Brick in 3rd place. Moto in 8th place. Looks like he has another lap to go. Dean in 4th place. Game Boy in 5th place. Not a close finish. A interesting race. Not as exciting as it could be, except for that very first one. And I'll let you know, everybody here watching, we do have one more race after this if you're new. We have race 1, race 2, every single race night. We have 2 races, and we tend to stream practice and qualifying as well. So, if you think the excitement is up or hasn't started yet, that's probably because it hasn't started yet. Because the second race, the grid gets inverted. So the person who finished last, as long as they didn't get a DNF, they will be automatically put in first place on the grid, and the person who finished first, Sauce, will start last in the second race. So that leads for a very interesting start and an interesting first lap, hopefully an entire race, because it leaves the fast people stuck behind the slow people trying to pass constantly while the slower people are holding off the faster people. We have our GP Simsport news van reporting for race 2. And we are gridded. So, what is this second race going to look like? Moto looks like he did finish. First place. Or actually, 3rd place, sorry. Gunner in 1st place. Penguin in 2nd place. Moto in 3rd place. Mike Kirby in 4th. Aircool in 5th. Game Boy in 6th. Dean in 7th. Racebrick in 8th. Rodan in 9th, Sauce in 10th, and Tom Spangler in 11th. This is going to be an interesting race, especially with how thin the track is and how slippery these cars can be, especially when they hit grass. We have 1 minute until the race begins. "25 seconds left till the race starts, and we have drivers revving their engines with enthusiasm, I might add. I'm having some trouble getting off track here. Well, not capturing much of this first race, sadly. Or first lap. Just gotta make sure to get off the track. Because be staying on the track for these racers coming out of that chicane is going to be difficult. I got to get off the track with that van. Very interesting racing going on here. Very close. Now let's alright. Okay. We have the fuel truck here, or fuel truck, that's not what I meant. I meant the news van. Got him off track over here. Kind of cool spot for him. We're gonna leave him there. Get on a moto, passing Mike Kirby. Rodan in 10th place. Surprising. Thought he was gonna pass sooner. Kirby passing moto again. Interesting passing going on there. Sauce, of course, in first place with Race Brick close behind. A nice lead pack, evenly spaced out. Hopefully that's going to make for some interesting racing. I would love to see some lengthy battles like we've seen in past races. My car is going onto the track. That's not good. Okay, there we go. Got it off. If my van wandered onto the track and then someone hit it, like, I would feel bad. That would be very bad. That would, yeah. That would be very, very bad. But looks like we don't have that problem, so we can stop worrying about it. Whoa. I regret not getting that. Looks like Rodan has accidentally hit Moto, spinning him out. Here is Tom Spangler. We're going to keep on him for a few moments because I'm expecting Rodan to come and make a spectacular pass. I fully expect this, actually. Sauce setting his own record, fastest lap once more. Yeah, yellow flag is still out for Moto. Hopefully everything's good okay over there. Rodan a mere 2 seconds away, and of course Sauce set his fastest lap again. No big surprise. Game Boy passing Dean up front, and there goes Rodan in his Alfa Romeo, passing Spangler, leaving him in the dust. Here we have Game Boy, followed closely by Dean. Dean did not like Game Boy taking his position, I believe, so Dean's gonna take it back. So that leaves Dean 4th, Game Boy 5th, Rodan, who is usually the fastest one here, in 6th place. Whoa. Dean braking much earlier than Game Boy, leaving Game Boy in uncertainty, forgetting the turn, and going off track, which kind of solidifies Dean's position for now. Now it's up to Game Boy to catch up and Rodan to catch up. Like, Rodan has quite a few laps to go before he's going to be able to catch up. He is a full 6 seconds behind Game Boy and 9 seconds behind Dean. Let's shift our gaze to Dean. Ah, good. Yellow flag is up. Track is clear. Dean is slowly catching up to Air-Cooled. Wow, Air-Cooled is skidding his car through these turns. He's going to have some very unevenly heated, unevenly worn, and very warm tires. But Dean is catching up. Is he going to get a podium in the second race? I really hope he gets a podium in the second race. And it's likely. Braking a little bit late, taking an inside line, expecting to soon take the inside on air and pass him. A slightly worse line there for his momentum, slowing down a little bit. But he's a mere 0.5 seconds away. 10 minutes to go. Braking very early for Dean, surprisingly. Air-Cooled looks like he's having some ping issues, as you can see him lag over the apex. Dean braking late in that corner, slugging his weight to the outside, leaving him somewhat momentumless going into that, or going out of that corner. Dean is starting to lose time on air-cooled, surprisingly. Rodan looks like he had an issue just passing Spengler again. An entire 15 seconds behind Game Boy and 30 behind Sauce. Looks like Rodan's not having a good race. Dean catching up very well to air in these past few corners. Looks like Dean has these down and mastered and air-cooled does not. But Dean's going to have to get good at the chicane. He's going to have to get good at these first few turns coming out or coming into the lap. Dean loses immense time going in these corners. Will air-cooled be able to hold him off for 8.5 minutes? Unlikely. Will Dean mess up? Who knows? If Dean messes up, he's not getting podium. He's not getting third. Touching grass there is very bold of him. Especially when you had to brake this hard coming into these tighter corners. He is a full 1.2 seconds behind air-cooled. Not good, but air-cooled is really spinning his tires there. It's sliding. Although a surprising outcome where he's much further ahead. 1.3 seconds ahead. Coming into these final laps where Dean has the ability to brake pretty late. Will he be able to catch him on this lap? Doesn't look likely, as he himself is sliding. The chicane, though, if he can still not going tight enough in the first section, and not starting far enough out in the beginning, left him needing to slow down more coming out of the chicane. Although a surprising outcome going through this first corner quite well, actually. Rodan in 6th place heading the fastest lap, but he's not going to be able to make up 30 seconds in only 7 minutes. That is an unheard of recovery, but if he does it, I'll be very surprised. Dean here is slightly closer to air-cooled, but he's starting to lose his ground again. Oh! A very brake late coming into that tight corner, leaving him 0.9 seconds, 1 second really, away from air-cooled. Okay, he's getting closer. He's getting his strategy under control, but he's got to do it quicker. He has 6.5 minutes left, and he's been falling back behind air and coming back closer again each and every time, unable to pass him. Looks like this Bizzarini is much quicker in these corners. But air-cooled, these tighter corners, air-cooled is getting him in the more gradual turns. Alright, Dean, go to the outside a little bit more. Okay, there you go. Sorry, my inside. Oh, that was a very clean coming out of that chicane. Very good. As you can see, air-cooled also did very good in that chicane. So Dean's a full 1.1 seconds behind. Really throwing into that corner, touching grass a lot. Oh, Dean is messing up. It's going to be very difficult for Dean to recover from that and still get podium. He is a full 5 seconds behind air-cooled now. And you saw how hard it was for him to pass air-cooled, or try to pass air-cooled, with just 0.5, 0.6 seconds. Although air-cooled really went into the dirt there, so maybe it's going to even out. But an entire 5 seconds with these two drivers on this track, from the history we've seen, very unlikely. Passing Gunner, lapping him, he looks like he made a mistake. Racebrake made a mistake. Dean has a podium, just not in the way we expected. Feeling bad for Racebrake right now. Looks like Racebrake had to quit going to pit, something was wrong. Hopefully he didn't quit because he was upset. Don't let the leaderboard fool you. As they pass the start-finish line, Dean will go to 5th. So as long as Dean doesn't mess up, he'll get podium. Now, but if he passes air-cooled, he will get 2nd place. That's quite an achievement in this series with his past history of staying in usually fifth, sixth. Yes, race breakcast disconnected from the server. Very upset from his performance in that turn. Very upset as a performance, enough to rage quit. Understandable though. 4 minutes left in the race. It wasn't going to be what he expected. Just race 2. Now Dean is going into the grass here. Could be very bad, especially from that pressure that Game Boy is starting to put on him as he's catching up. Game Boy is only a second away from Dean, and Dean is a whole 3 seconds away from air. This is going to be a very close race as far as air-cooled Dean, Game Boy, and Rodan go. They are all within 6 seconds of each other, and it's going to be very interesting. Dean slowly inching his way closer. Not enough for 3 minutes is going to do much good. Braking very late into this corner, taking a inside line superior to air-cooled. Now only 2 seconds behind. Very good to that chicane. Looks like Dean learned. Game Boy didn't. Game Boy came out of it way too fast. Had to brake. Looks like Game Boy is going to get passed by Rodan. Still locked on to Dean here, so it's going to be interesting catching this. Looks like Game Boy screw up there. Has left Game Boy and Rodan quite far behind Dean, kind of taking some of the pressure off, but it could change in an instant. Whoa! Game Boy feeling the pressure. Rodan goes off into the grass, slowing him down enough where Rodan can easily pass him, making that Alpha seem very fast. Now that leaves Game Boy upset and dirty. That's not good. He's now upset, so he's trying to go faster. He's wanting to get back in front of Rodan, but his tires have lost grip. They're warmer, they're dirtier, and it's going to take some time to get all that dirt off and regain traction. Whoa, okay, Moto is there. That surprised me. Moto is getting lapped, and Dean's starting to catch up to air-cooled, but it looks like he only has a lap left after this. Sounds about right to me. Rodan did set the fastest lap. Still. Very impressive, yet he's in 4th place. He is catching up to Dean, though, with only a second and a little bit behind. Game Boy a full 3-point-something seconds behind Rodan, though, so it looks like Game Boy has solidified his place in 5th, as Spangler is an entire 30-40 seconds behind Game Boy. The ladder group is so spread out. Not much close racing there. This is going to be a very close ending here, as air-cooled is usually not this good with this car. He's usually farther back, so air-cooled being in 2nd is very impressive, especially being able to keep that Bizzarini under control. He's had struggles with that recently. Being able to keep that under control and fend off Dean is very impressive. And now Dean has to fend off Rodan, but is he going to do it? Is he going to... Whoa! That very well could have been the end of Dean's race with that a little bit of a tap. Okay, looks like Dean has successfully passed Aircooled. I apologize, I had to bleed off mic there. Aircooled made a simple mistake. Dean was able to fend off Rodan, and he was able to pass Aircooled. So was Rodan. Now Rodan is on the tail of Dean, really putting the pressure on. I'm not sure if there's much difference between this Alpha and this Bizzarini, speed-wise. They look pretty similar, but Dean is starting to pull away from Rodan. This corner here is really gonna... Oh man, there's only one lap left. This is the final lap. Oh, Dean hit the apex there. I thought he was gonna spin out. Oh, Rodan's gonna try to take the inside. Oh, spinning them both out. Rodan trying to take the inside. Bumps Dean. Come on, Dean, get podium, get podium. Oh, he had a later start than Rodan. He's gonna end up getting 4th or 5th. Oh. And to think that was just Rodan hitting the corner of Dean. All of that could have been avoided. Going into a chicane. I mean, that was bold. Rodan made probably a decision that he shouldn't have. It benefited him. Actually, no. Rodan ended exactly where he started. He just tapped the rear corner of Dean, trying to wedge himself in between Dean and the chicane. And obviously that didn't work. Bumped Dean out, hit him, spun him. Just ended up spinning air. Okay, that's interesting. This is not a demolition derby. I ended up spinning Rodan as well, but Rodan was able to spin around and get off in time, leaving him in 3rd place, which is where he started, and put Dean back in 5th place instead of 2nd because Aircooled also passed him. Very sad day. I was hoping Dean would get 2nd position, but it looks like he's down in 5th. In my heart, Dean is still a winner, guys. Don't worry. He is definitely a winner to me. But with that kind of race ethic, where he's able to pass these guys, do well, keep his times up, keep his speed up, learn the track, be consistent with his lap times and how he races, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be able to get podium in one of these upcoming races. That was the end of race number 6. We have race number 1 and race number 2 and race number 6. We can take a look quickly at the race standings according to Assetto Corsa. Actually, maybe we can't. Never mind. You cannot look at them because I was too busy talking. That's okay though, because I will be posting the official list of drivers and their positions and their standings in the current championship on my YouTube community posts, along with links to both merch and links to my Discord in case you want to join for yourself. Very entertaining race today. I apologize for the late start and the trip ups, but this was GP Simsports.